Rapterra is King's Dominion's new for 2025 launched wing coaster. Here recently I got to ride Rapterra, and in today's video I'll be summarizing my thoughts on it. The ride starts you out with a 0 to 65 mile per hour launch. While it isn't one of the most forceful launches out there, it's still pretty fun. You then go into a 145-foot tall wave turn. While it isn't super forceful, it gives you some good sideways views of the surrounding area. It follows this up with a dive loop, which provides some pretty average forces. You then enter a pretty decent switchback hill, followed up by a helix. The helix was alright, but the switchback hill provided some decent airtime, especially on the outside seats. It follows this up with a corkscrew, which provides some pretty decent hang time, but not much else in terms of forces. Right after that corkscrew is an airtime hill, which doesn't do much, and then the Raptor roll, which provides some decent hang time also. You turn into the brake run, and that's the end of the ride. Before I talk about the things I liked about the ride, the one main con I'd like to point out is the rattle on it. On the two rides I got, the rattle is pretty noticeable. While it didn't hurt the ride too much, it definitely takes points away from it. But one good thing this adds to the park is another good high-end, high-capacity ride. This ride stood out to me fairly well, seeing as Pantherian and Grizzly were closed when I went. Another really nice thing about this ride is the very elaborate queue they put in, even including references to past attractions. The final nice thing I'd like to point out about this ride is high capacity. Since it's a wing coaster with 4 across seats per row, it's able to support a pretty high number of riders, even though the trains are pretty short. Some rides at King's Dominion, like Dominator, have pretty high capacity, while others, like Twisted Timbers, have pretty low capacity and the line crawls. And while the operations weren't as good as somewhere like Dollywood, they were only running one person per side, I believe, so they were doing their best and pumping out trains really well for how many staff they had. And now it's time for my thoughts on the ride as a whole. While it is a good fit in King's Dominion and a pretty fun ride, it's lacking a true standout element with good forces. Probably the most forceful part of the ride is the launch, which while it is a good launch, it's nothing too exceptional. But aside from that, it's a pretty complete layout with multiple inversions, some alright airtime, and a pretty decent track length. And now, as for where it ranks up in my rankings, I ranked it number 25, one spot ahead of Tennessee Tornado, and one spot below Thunderhead, both of those at Dollywood. And comparing it to the other wing coaster I've ridden, Wild Eagle, I rank it 2 spots below Rapterra. Both of them are pretty comparable, but Rapterra has a better launch, some okay airtime, and while it does have one less inversion, it's still a pretty long ride. But what are your thoughts? Feel free to share them down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share, and or subscribe. It would help my channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.